Hello, Taurus. Welcome to Dove and Serpent Tarot. My name is Paul. If Taurus is your sun, moon, or rising sign, this is your tarot card reading. Remember to hit the like button, leave a comment. Consider subscribing to the channel, especially if this reading resonates with you. These readings are totally free. If there is anything you would like me to pray over, or meditate upon, or send positive energy toward, please let me know. Now, this is a general reading, so try to be open and receptive to whatever may come through during our time together. I am merely the messenger, and I ask you to connect directly with each of these cards and use your own intuition to take you beyond the details that I provide. And remember, Taurus, that the most important part of any tarot reading is you. Four of Cups. Four of Cups is a stillness in our heart, okay? That we are trying to find our emotional center again. We're trying to stabilize. Kind of feels as if we have gone from a storm to a period of rest and safety, stability, security, where we can heal, where we can make repairs to the boat, you know? We're out there sailing. There's a bad storm, come into the safe harbor, set the anchor, start patching up the holes in the boat, start fixing the sails, getting ready for what comes next. Okay? Let's put this card into a little bit of context. Got a Nine of Swords. Yeah, so we're dealing with the effects of the storm. Okay, sometimes when we have a stormy period of time in our life, it makes us feel as if we are the cause of it. We're dealing with guilt and all this kind of stuff. We have to understand what is in need of healing right now. Okay? We have to kind of trust the process here, because I feel like the Nine of Swords, the only way to deal with that is to go through it. To sort of, to allow ourselves the time and space that we need to work our way through something. With the Four of Cups, there's no rule. It's not saying like, well, you can only be here in the harbor for a week and then I'm going to start charging you double, you know. We give ourselves as much time as we need to heal from something, to recover from something, to patch up the boat. Okay? You don't want to rush it. I'd rather you take your time, fix it right. It's like you go to the mechanic and they got your car back in like an hour. You say, did you even fix it? And like, you're going to keep it for a few days or whatever. That's fine. Like, you know, do what you got to do. I want to make sure it's done right, you know. Of course, we feel that there's pressure. We feel in any kind of situation in life, especially one where we're kind of going through something that's very emotional. We feel a rush. You know, your family trying to rush you. Your friends are trying to hurry up. Your job trying to say, yeah, you got to come back to work, you know, as quickly as you can. We need to be able to stay anchored where we are and work through this issue so that we can feel better and we can get moving forward, okay? Underneath the surface, we have the High Priestess. Oh, yes, always leading us to our Empress life. We got a Princess of Cups, a Nine of Cups, and a Six of Pentacles. You are surrounded by divine energy right now. You are loved and held by the universe as you go through this healing process. Know that, Taurus, know that. Over here, look at that strength, going from a Nine of Swords to a Nine of Wands. And we got the Nine of Cups, too. There's the Empress. See, the High Priestess is always leading you to your Empress life. This is a prophecy. Your life is about to change. You need to trust in this process. You're going through the storm, the aftermath of the storm, let's say. You're going through this process of healing, of working your way through this situation or these feelings or this circumstance, okay? You got the the Seven of Cups was the Seven of Cups. It's another storm. We don't want to go through this again. This is in the position of what we do not want. Okay? So there's sometimes a reluctance to go out back into life and try again because, well, there'd be monsters out there. You know, if we were in this difficult, challenging, painful situation once, well, what's stopping it from happening again? Well, nothing really. You know, it could. It could. But we've got to be willing to take the risk. And then we got the Ten of Pentacles. You have such beautiful energy right now, Taurus. I've never seen a reading like this. That here we are trying to find the stillness and the safety and the security in our heart, trying to work through this pain. It's like we got that splinter in our paw, right? And we're trying to get it out. We're trying to let it work its way out or whatever we got to do. We're going forward through this. We're not cowering away from it, pretending it didn't happen. We're taking the time that we need to find our center, to find the pet, to allow ourselves to naturally kind of heal through this process. And maybe we're talking something physical. Maybe it's financial, maybe it's mental, emotional, spiritual, or creative kind of pain. Because the Nine of Swords, it's not the Nine of Cups. It's not the Nine of Wands, right? It's separation. It is the kind of the most painful card of the tarot is the Nine of Swords. And this may feel that this is the most painful time that you've ever been in. Well, what all of the fours of the tarot remind us is all of the fours, right, are impermanent. I know they seem like stability. It seems like something is manifesting. Well, it's manifested, right? It's gone from a kind of a three-dimensional kind of idea to a four-dimensional reality, a solid thing. It's real, right? Well, yeah, it's real, but it's still impermanent. Okay, everybody thinks the fours mean, something's solid, something's going to be here forever. No, it's here now, and it's going to be here for, a while. I don't know how long. Again, it's kind of your time frame, what's natural to you, but it's impermanent. So it's the idea that this is going to pass. Okay, and it means that this pain that you feel right now is going to pass. And it's going to transform, I strongly believe, as indicated by the surrounding energies that you have in all these places, right? All the places that really are around you and supporting you, that this Nine of Swords is going to change into a Nine of Wands, into strength and happiness. This is suffering. This is kind of feeling sorrow on the physical, financial, mental, emotional, and spiritual creative planes. Okay? This is not a permanent state. The Nine of Cups is abundance and joy on the physical, financial, mental, emotional, and spiritual creative planes. The Nine of Wands is virtue and strength and confidence on the physical, financial, mental, emotional, and spiritual creative planes. See the nines, right? 9, 9, 9. You are being blessed by the universe right now. It may not feel that way. Things are going to change. You got to trust in this process, okay? Let's select the mystery card, bonus card, confirmation card. This is a random card from the Smith-Waite Tarot. This is the factor, whoa, look at that. This is the factor infinite and unknown. We're going to set it down right here with Tiny Bob Ross right on top. Happy little Bob, happy little card. We're not going to look at that card until the very end. It will tie everything together. It will give us the confirmation that we need at the end of the reading. If you have a prediction for that mystery card, put it in the comments. The volunteer was the Queen of Cups. Sort of brooding, right? We're sort of dealing. We're sitting still, dealing with something. Right? Out of everything that's going on in the world, this is what matters to you most. Other people don't understand that. Other people don't care about what you're going through right now. That's the sad reality of things. There are people that love you and support you, yes, right? But don't expect other people to truly understand what you're dealing with. If it's difficult, of course, we reach out to our support system. 6 of Pentacles around you too. You do have a support system. There are resources for you, okay? But this is the idea that what we deal with is uniquely ours. And we have to have the love and compassion for ourselves to say, I'm going to take my time and I'm going to do it right. I'm going to take my time. I'm going to do it my way. Of course, I can get some advice. I can get some friendly support. I can get some love and encouragement. But this is something that you're going through on your own, and this is your self-love. Okay, this is you saying that you love yourself enough to go through this process, to honor this process. Maybe you're grieving. Maybe we've been through a very difficult situation, and we're going to recover from this. Okay, we're going to heal from this 9 of Swords. Now, as far as major arcana energies go, you literally have the destiny here, your intuition, the High Priestess, taking you by the hand and leading you to your best life, leading you to paradise, leading you to Big Rock Candy Mountain, and you're trusting. You're trusting the High Priestess. You're taking her hand and saying, "Okay, lead me here." Well, sometimes she leads you through the briar patch, doesn't she? Sometimes she leads you through the storm in order to get to your best life, to get to the healing, the health, the well-being, the love, the support, the pleasure, the abundance, the, that reciprocating kind of life here. All right? This is the life, this is what we want out there. And maybe this is a family, maybe this is romance, maybe this is, being a parent, becoming a parent, kind of being a business owner. This could be everything and anything you want it to be. Okay? And we have to trust that this is out there. With the Nine of Swords, we don't believe it. Sometimes this is going to feel like nothing good is meant for me, that it's my fate to just suffer. Right? It's not. This suffering is temporary. Okay? So, beyond that, we've got our fire being rekindled over here. We, of course, have our water, our water, our water. We've got our air right here in the middle. And, we got more water over here, a lot of water. And we got a little bit of air, but we've got our earth and our earth over here too. Okay. The Six of Pentacles, I think, is the way forward here. And the way forward is to develop the six pillars of a happy, healthy life, The six pillars of success, the six pillars of, the quality of life, right? Well, it's intentional eating, intentional movement, sleep, right? Adequate sleep, stress reduction, managing substances, right? Manage the energy coming in, and our relationships, interpersonal relationships. This feels like a round table. Everything is in alignment for you. Okay? Well, the Nine of Swords feels out of alignment. There are things we can do, practices that we can do in order to help the process, in order to facilitate healing. What are they telling the hospital, right? Ambulate. We got to walk, right? That was when I went through my surgery. That was the biggest thing. They said, just get up and walk a little bit every day. You'll heal like that. That's what they told me. And it was a little bit more complicated than that, but I tried. It wasn't easy. I had to learn to walk again. At first I could barely even stand up. I couldn't get out of bed on my own. Eventually I was walking around the unit and stuff, and then I was released shortly thereafter. I had a liver transplant. Okay? But this isn't about me. But this is about healing. Okay? This is about those things that we can do that are going to help us heal and that are going to maintain this kind of, it's going to be almost a new lifestyle in a way, right? And this could be a moment of transformation. We're going through this, I don't even know what to call this, curtain of suffering. But on the other side is our a better life. It's ourselves transformed. It's our world transformed. Okay? I don't know what this is for you. I'm not going to venture a guess. This could be anything. It's probably different for all of us. Okay? But what we can do to combat some of the misery or depression and anxiety of the Nine of Swords is to focus on some of these healthy practices. We need a mindfulness practice. We need a practice of gratitude. We need intentional movement. You got to get up, move your body. You got to be focused on what you're taking into your body, right? Intentional eating. We got to be mindful when we eat, mindful when we sleep. Make sure you get enough sleep, not too much, not too little. Make sure that we find ways to reduce the stress in our lives, breathing exercises and meditation and stuff to reduce stress. And going easy on ourselves for a while. Not trying to stress ourselves out, trying to avoid situations that are going to be way too stressful for you right now. It's like, when you get out of the hospital, they tell you, well, you don't lift anything heavy. Don't lift anything over 10 pounds for like a couple months, right? It's like, what? Get to carry the groceries in. You don't want to overtax your system at first, right? So we're looking for this harmonious, aligned, healthy kind of life, And I think this is important. But this is also, in the very near future, this is the success. This is the light at the end of the tunnel. So again, confirming that this is temporary. You're going through this veil and it hurts. You're being dragged through the briar patch. The light, there's an end to it, and there is glory, and there is happiness and beauty and health at the end, on the other side of that curtain. Okay. Now, up above everything, you have a Nine of Cups. This is what we want. We want a happy life. We want to pursue happiness. I want to feel as if I am pursuing the abundance and joy and on every plane of being, in every dimension of my life, physically, financially, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, creatively, right? The 9. 3, 3, and 3. Okay? So this isn't just about one particular aspect of life. This is about you having a life that feels like it's a happy life. It's a strong and happy and healthy life. Okay. And I mean, this is what we want, so this is what we're going to work toward, right? And really, that's what the High Priestess is doing. She's dragging you through the briar patch, temporary stop here to get to that happy life. Okay. So we trust in that. This is your intuition. And sometimes you just have to listen to your body too, or your heart, or whatever we're talking about here, to know when to move forward, when to kind of go back to work, when to not. You got to really tune in to how you feel, mentally, emotionally, whatever, physically, right? I don't know if this is a physical thing or if it's more like a heartbreak or a grieving or a loss, okay? But either way, you listen to what your spirit is telling you. Listen to your intuition. And to do that, of course, we have to find the stillness in ourselves in order to hear that voice. This is down beneath the surface. This is inside of you. This is something in you that is letting you know which way to go and when to move forward and when to go back to work, or when to get out there and sail the ship again, when the holes in the boat have been patched and they're done drying and you can sail again. I don't feel like you like being told what to do, right? You're going to listen to your gut. You're going to know when it feels right. You're going to move forward again. Okay? And we have to trust that. That's the voice that matters. We have to be able to hear it. Okay? Now, in the previous position, we've got a Princess of Cups. Okay? And this is a time where we were, I don't know, it feels innocent, feels a little naive. It feels like we were living in a dream. We were fantasizing, we were using our imagination, right? And we felt that we were following our heart, you know? And we were free and we were innocent, and we were like, this is like a young person who's never had their heart broken before and just has this kind of this vision of life. Yeah, I feel like we want to kind of get back to this. We don't want to let this situation now, this impermanent suffering that we're in, to kind of separate us from this almost inner child. We don't want it to separate us from our sense of wonder, our sense of mystery, our sense of fantasy, our imagination, our dreams, our heart, our love, our desire, right? Because then what? We become depressed, we become cynical, we become a curmudgeon, you know? We're not going to have fun ever again. I'm never going to do anything. I'm never going to follow my heart ever again. We become someone who's got a heart of stone. We become a Grinch, right? We become a Scrooge. Yeah. And so we want to make sure that we don't lose this. Yeah. And that, I think, is why you have this energy here to say, hey, you know what? We can still be this person. This is a difficult time. I know that. Okay. Now, Path of the Serpent. Let's talk about this good stuff here. I think the healing is taking place. Okay. In the immediate future, we've got the 6 of Pentacles. We've got the success, and I kind of feel like this is you getting back to work. This is you getting back to whatever's on the other side of this. If it is like a physical, maybe you went through a surgery. This is kind of a physical thing. Well, this is you kind of getting back to the flow of life, you know. And by the way, if you haven't subscribed yet, please do. These readings are totally free. The 9 of Wands is strength. The 9 of Wands is resilience. That you know that you are strong enough to bounce back from anything. Okay? You know, for me, when I was in the hospital, all of my organs failed, except for my heart. It never stopped beating, right? And I kind of feel like that's what this card is. Doesn't matter like what happens, as long as your heart's beating, like there's still fire in you, right? That we're going to bounce back from this. There is that inner strength in you. You're somebody that does not quit, does not give up, even when things seem like they just can't get any worse. There's something in you that keeps pumping this vital energy through your body, heart, and mind, through your soul. It keeps you going. Okay? It's kind of like the backbone. It's kind of like saying, I'm too stubborn to quit, too stubborn to give up, you know? And I think this is very good, because this is the kind of strength that we need. And I think that we are tested by life a lot. We're being given a lot of challenging things that we have to deal with, and the way we handle it kind of determines which direction our lives take. This kind of strength is only forged in the fire of the pressure cooker, only forged in the trials and tribulations of life. That's where we get this. Okay. And now the Empress in the environment, I feel like it's healing. I feel like it's love. I feel like it's nurturing. I don't know if you have anything to do with the medical field, if that's kind of your vocation or you feel a calling toward that. I think you would be very good in helping others to heal, whether mentally, emotionally, or physically, spiritually, creatively, whatever. Because I feel like the only people that can really heal others are people that have suffered themselves. You know, you can't show other people the way if you've never been there, right? So I wonder if that's part of your Empress energy. But your best life is here in the environment in terms of your relationships. What you want, you will achieve. Okay? And also you're working with nature. You're not working against it. So you're kind of listening to your body, and you're trusting in the process of healing, of growth, of restoration, and you realize that, you know, you're choosing your input for the output that you want. Kind of saying, I want to be happy and healthy, so I've got to consume happy and healthy things, and then that's going to be, you know, kind of like you are what you eat, right? But not just physically, but mentally and emotionally too. You are what you think. You are how you feel. You are what you take into your body. Okay, you get out of it what you put into it, and that's part of our Empress card too. Okay, now the Seven of Cups in the position of the obstacle or what we don't want. Yeah, healing is always a kind of difficult process, right? We look at this card and we think, when you heal from something, and like what happens? You get scabs, you get itchy, right? It's just kind of, it's not a fun thing, right? So it's kind of the healing is kind of painful in its own way. Yeah. And sometimes it's difficult for us to kind of choose the process of healing because we know healing is going to hurt. Well, yeah, but you know, the Nine of Swords hurts too. But it's kind of like, that's a pain that maybe in some ways we get used to it. We get numb to it. Then when we start healing, it's like, okay, now it's a new pain. It's different. It's changed its quality a little bit. Now it's itchy. Now it just burns or stings, or it's like whatever. So being in that kind of, like for me at least, being in that miserable state sucked, right? But then thinking of, well, now I got to heal. Now I've got to deal with all the issues that come with healing, right? I still have the big scar across my belly. I had to deal with all the tubes and all the pain of that and all the medication and all this other stuff. It was difficult, and that was challenging in its own way. Okay? But when things kind of look like this, we know that they're healing. We know that things are going in the right direction. The way a bruise might change colors, well, it's because it's healing. Your blood and lymph and everything is like taking all the bad stuff out, taking all the all the destroyed cells, whatever, and kind of bringing in the right nutrients in order to build the new tissues. Okay. So it may feel worse before it feels better. But what you have at the end is full restoration. 10 of Pentacles, the best life. The full restoration, physically or financially, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, creatively, whatever it is. I think there's going to be a full kind of recovery here. Now, this isn't a medical reading, by the way. I'm not a doctor. I don't know what I'm talking about. Okay? But according to this energy, the trend of this energy is going to be a sense of wholeness, a sense of completion, a sense of well-being. Okay? That you're building the temple wherein this happy water energy can live. Okay? And that's happening because of the strength of your spirit and your trust of your intuition, and you're surrounded by divine energy. You're surrounded by all these forces of healing. Okay? Let's look at the mystery card over here. What do we expect to see? Well, maybe the Taurus power card, right? Maybe the Hierophant, showing kind of well, I think in a way showing your expertise here. Kind of showing that maybe you do have something, a wisdom now, that there's other benefits to this. You know, we're not just healing, we're not just getting back to the way we were before. It's kind of like we're healing, but we're going to be stronger and better and sort of more refined than we were before. It's not just about getting back to where we were, but we're moving forward, we're transcending that in a way, okay? Sometimes things have to be broken down and separated. The 9 is Mars in Gemini. This is a separation. This is breaking things apart in order to put them back together in a greater way. It's alchemical here. So this is either going to be the Art or Temperance card, or it's going to be the Hierophant. Let's see what we have. The Lovers. Yeah, well, that was my next choice. The Lovers is putting things back together. It is the alchemical card. I should ring the bell anyway, because I just didn't say the right card. But that's the idea. This is the card that separates. This is the card that brings back together on a higher plane. So you're not just being stitched back together the way you were. You're being reassembled into a grander organism, a larger spiritual force, a larger entity. Okay? So things have to get stripped down and broken down, purified, put back together, and it is greater than it was before. Okay, so the Lover's card, things are coming back together. What is in front of you in life is not just getting back to where we were. It's going to be so much greater than we've ever thought possible. It's going to be so much more than what we ever had before in the past. Okay, it's the solve and the coagula. It is the alchemy. Let's do an extended reading. We're going to do an I Ching hexagram. We're going to do some oracle cards. There's a link up top. There's a link down below. New readings for Taurus Mondays and Fridays. Be sure to watch both readings. If you want to watch these readings at the website, go to doveandserpenttarot.com or find me on Patreon. If you haven't subscribed to the channel yet, please do. These readings are totally free. Leave a comment and let me know where in the world you're watching from. I want you to know that you're the most important part of Dove and Serpent Tarot. I thank you and I love you. And we're all in this together.